$10. That's it. That's the whole plan. One coffee you didn't buy. One lunch you made at home instead. You take that $10 every day and you invest it. And then you do the most difficult thing in the world. You wait. Because 40 years from now, that $10 a day could be worth nearly $2 million. But there's a number nobody shows you, and it quietly cuts that fortune in half. Let's be honest about what $10 a day actually is. It's not a sacrifice that ruins your life. It's a coffee, a takeout lunch, a couple of subscriptions you forgot you had. It's the money that already leaves your pocket every day without you noticing where it went. And here's the reframe that matters. This was never about giving things up. It's about redirecting money you were already spending, just pointing it somewhere else. So let's put a real number on it. $10 a day is about $300 a month, around $3,650 a year. You barely feel it leave. That's the entire point. It has to be small enough that you don't quit. Now you take that money and you put it into a simple, low-cost index fund, the same boring fund that quietly beat Wall Street's geniuses, the one we covered when Buffett won his $1 million bet. You're not picking stocks. You're not timing anything. You're just buying a tiny slice of the whole market, automatically, every month. And then you let time do something your brain is genuinely bad at understanding. Because for the first year, it's going to feel like absolutely nothing is happening. So you start. Month 1, you invest your $300. Nothing happens. Month 2, month 3. The balance creeps up. Maybe the market dips and it actually goes down for a while. You start to wonder if this is pointless. 12 months in, you look at your account. You put in about $3,600 and it's worth roughly that, maybe a little more. No fireworks, no life change, just a slightly bigger number than you started with. And this right here is the exact moment almost everyone quits, because a year feels like a long time to wait for nothing. The reward is invisible, and the effort is real, and every instinct you have is screaming that this isn't working. But here's what those instincts don't understand. Compound growth doesn't move in a straight line. It moves in a curve, and for the first stretch of that curve, it looks almost completely flat. The people who win aren't the ones who invest more than you. They're the ones who don't quit during the boring part. So let's not quit. Let's do the thing nobody has the patience for. Let's jump ahead and watch the curve start to bend. 10 years in, you never increase the amount. Still $10 a day, quietly, the whole way through. Over those 10 years, you personally put in about $36,000. Your account is now worth around $62,000. Stop and look at that gap for a second. You contributed $36,000, but you have $62,000. That extra $26,000, you didn't earn it at a job. You didn't save it. The market made it. Your money made money, and then that money made more money. That's compounding, and this is the first moment you can actually see it working. For 10 years, it felt like you were pushing a boulder up a hill for nothing. And somewhere in there, without any announcement, the hill flattened out, and the boulder started rolling on its own. It's still not life-changing money, not yet, but the curve has started to bend, and the second decade does something the first one couldn't. 20 years in, same $10 a day. You've almost forgotten the account exists. It just happens automatically now. Over 20 years, you personally contributed about $73,000. The account is worth around $230,000. Read those two numbers again because something just shifted. You put in $73,000. You have $230,000, which means the majority of your money, most of that balance was not put there by you. It was created by growth on top of growth. This is the tipping point of the whole story. For the first 10 years, your contributions did the heavy lifting. Now the money you already invested is earning more each year than you're adding. Your past self has quietly become your biggest investor. And once that flips, the third decade doesn't just add, it explodes. Because now compounding is working on a genuinely large number. 30 years in, you've contributed across 3 entire decades about $110,000 total, from $10 a day. Your account is now worth around $688,000, almost $700,000, and you only ever put in $110,000. Sit with that. Nearly $600,000 of that balance is growth. Money that appeared because you started, stayed in, and waited. If you tried to save your way to $700,000 by hand, you'd have needed to put aside almost $20,000 a year, every year, for 30 years. Instead, you redirect the price of a coffee. This is the part that feels almost unfair when you first see it. The person doing this isn't earning a huge salary. They're not a genius. They just started the clock and refused to stop it. And there's still one more decade to go. The one that crosses a line most people never reach. 40 years, still $10 a day. You never once increased it. Total, you contributed over 40 years, about $146,000. The account is now worth around $1.9 million from $10 a day. You cross the millionaire line nearly twice over on the price of a daily coffee. And this is the exact number those other videos freeze on. Big green text. $10 a day makes you a millionaire. Roll credits. But if I stopped here, I'd be lying to you the same way they do. Because that $1.9 million is not what it looks like. There's a number underneath it that nobody wants to put on a thumbnail, and it's time to show you the honest version. Here's where we do the thing this channel always does, even when it's less exciting. That $1.9 million is a nominal number. It's the raw dollar figure 40 years from now. But dollars 40 years from now do not buy what dollars buy today. Inflation quietly eats away at what each dollar is worth, at roughly 3% a year every year. So let's translate that fortune into today's money, what it could actually buy. That $1.9 million in today's purchasing power is closer to $800,000. That's still a life-changing amount, but it's less than half of the number on the screen a minute ago. And almost nobody making these videos will tell you that. That's the first honest correction. Here's the second, and it's bigger. Every number in this video came from assuming the market returns about 10% a year, its long-run historical average. But that average is a story you can only see looking backwards. You do not experience the average. You experience the sequence. Some years the market jumps 30%. Some years it falls 30% and stays down for what feels like forever. There is no smooth curve in real life. There's a jagged, terrifying line, and you have to hold on through every dip without selling. And there's more the clean projection ignores. Fees drag your returns down. Taxes can take a share depending on the account. And the biggest risk of all isn't in any spreadsheet, it's you. It's whether you actually keep going for 40 years when life gets expensive and the market is crashing and quitting feels reasonable. The math is simple. The discipline is brutally hard. Anyone who shows you only the math is selling you the easy half. So no $10 a day is not a guaranteed golden ticket. But once you understand what it really is, the honest version turns out to be more powerful than the fantasy. And that's the actual lesson. So why does that missing number change the whole story? Because it forces you to admit what this was never about. It was never about the exact figure. That number will be wrong. Inflation will move. Returns will vary. Your life will not run in a straight line. The specific dollar amount was always going to be wrong. But the engine underneath it is not. Go back and look at what actually did the work in this video. It wasn't the $10. $10 is nothing. You proved that in year one. It was time. Every single leap came from the years, not the amount, which leads to the one fact that matters more than any other in investing. Someone who invests just $10 a day starting today will very likely end up with more than someone who invests $100 a day but starts 15 years from now. The person putting in 10 times less wins because they gave their money more time to compound. Starting is worth more than the amount. It is not close. And notice the other thing that was hiding in plain sight. The $10 was never really $10. It was a decision, the same small, boring, unglamorous decision, repeated thousands of times while nobody was watching and nothing seemed to be happening. On this channel, we met a janitor named Ronald Red who did exactly this. No high salary, no secret, just small amounts, quietly invested for 60 years, until the man who pumped gas and swept floors left behind $8 million. He didn't beat the system, he just started early, and he refused to stop. So here's the version of this that's actually worth your time. Don't chase the 2 million. It's a mirage, and you'll quit when you realize it's not guaranteed. Chase the habit instead. Start the smallest amount you won't abandon. Today, not when you earn more. And then get out of your own way and let time do the part you can't. Because the fortune was never in the $10. It was in the years you were willing to wait and the fact that you started them now. Next time on this channel, we're breaking down another quiet truth about wealth, the one that decides who actually gets to keep it.